whatever. But yeah, it was yesterday, and I was really
After
really
the
blessed.
PSAT.
I didn't have your permission to share that it was you, so
Nah, you're good about that. That's fine.
Which ties in directly to where Father said go. So,
not a surprise. Here we go.
Yeah, the tulip's like screaming.
Yeah, thanks, babe. Appreciate your discernment.
To the choir master, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork. Day after day pours out speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. There is no speech nor are there words whose voice is not heard. Their voice goes out through all the earth. And their words to the end of the world. And then he has set a tent for the sun, which comes out like a bridegroom leaving his chamber, and like a strong man runs its course with joy. Its rising is from the end of the heavens, and its circuit is to the end of them. There is nothing hidden from its heat. The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. Fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The rules of the Lord are true, and righteous altogether. More to be desired they are than gold, which comes from where? Where does gold come from?
Ground.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Wiped out.
Even much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey, drippings of the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned, and in keeping them there is great reward. Matthew 21. Or 20, 24, 25, 26. Where are you? Shooby-dooby-doo. Triumphal entry into Jerusalem, I believe, was 21. Okay. Here we go. And when they drew near to Jerusalem, Matthew 21, the chapter right to begin with, the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two disciples, saying to them, go into the village in front of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt tied with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says to you, you shall say, the Lord needs them. This took place, was what the prophet said, daughter of Zion, coming on a beast of burden, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Later on, it says here. Later on, when one of the passages, he says, here we go, chief priests and Pharisees, I believe this is at verse 16. And they were indignant, and Jesus said, do you hear what these are saying? Yes, if you never read, out of the mouths of infants and nursing babies you have prepared for praise. Later on, in one of the other accounts, he says, forbid them, my Lord. He said, no, if I forbade them, the rocks would cry out.
May I ask what indignant means? Oh, okay. Thank you.
You didn't know? Well, that's me reproaching you, but, well, I never. You mean you don't like chocolate? You mean you don't like vanilla? You mean you don't like fruity? You mean you don't like your coffee bulletproof? Well, I never. You mean you're not a cat person? Dang Skippy, I'm not a cat person. Except unless it's a Mancoon or a Seal Point Siamese. Thank you very much.
I love Seal Point Siamese.
But, that's indignant. So this dynamic of the rocks crying out, the tulips cried out. That's why I walked into Home Depot when I first saw the tulips. Bunch of pots laying out, and they all said, hey, Daddy, you gonna take us home? It's like, call my wife. Hey, honey, can I get some tulips? Exactly. So, when are we going to plant them? When are we going to plant them? Tulips are very hardy. They grow in Holland, the Dutchland, the Netherlands, pardon me, and then in Washington State. So, I grabbed the tulips, brought them home. They were yammering, as we heard in here, back and forth. We've had the conversation before. And then they were singing. Of course they were singing, and they like to be read to. If any of you gets a hankering to write a story and sit in a chair with the tulips and read the story to the tulips, it will make them very, very happy. So,
Same goes for struggling houseplants. If you speak to them and read to them, and they will really respond to it, they'll grow really well.
yeah.
And you can find that on the internet. That's not, oh, my weird parents. It's
All new agey crazy, yes. Our
Crazy
response
humans doing crazy things. But it works.
Our responsibility is, if it says here quite clearly, and then in a place in Job it says, ask the animals and they will teach you. The animals are actually going to teach you. If you have the skill to hear it, and there's a Carolina wren on the sunflower seed flying up the caramel back, right there in the bush. The animals will teach. The people will teach. The creation will teach. The skies will teach. There is speech. There is speech in the ocean. The oceans have a voice. Do you have the skill to pick it up? You have the skill to listen when the animals are saying something. Not just, oh, I'm injured, but, oh, I'm happy. So the question here is, are we willing to hear what is speaking to us? And, if I were a New Ager, I would say, fall down and worship it. That is the difference between us and the New Age. We ain't going to worship it. We're going to talk to it, communicate with it, hear what the Lord is saying, and then give out the things the Lord is saying. But we worship God. I am like the angel said to John the apostle, I am a servant just as you. Worship God is what he said in Revelation. Our job is to worship God.
Didn't he also say that to Joshua? Like one of the angels also say that to Joshua one time?
I don't know. Not exactly sure. I have to look that one up. But all this to say, go ahead.
Because I think he did. I'm just not sure.
Okay.
Because there's more angels that talk to Joshua than just the captain of the angelic army.
Sure. So the dynamic here is not whether or not we can hear it, and if we can hear it, that makes us New Age. The question is whether or not we are worshiping it as God. That's the difference. If I can make that delineation, and I can redeem that dynamic of creation, then I will 10 times out of 10 know the difference between a believer who understands creation and somebody who's practicing actual bona fide New Age.
Yeah, we were never meant to worship Mother Earth, but we are meant to walk in communion with her and to partner with her, because she is part of creation. Earth is part of creation. All the things that God created, and we have some responsibility. We have biblical mandates as we function. Take the garden to the non-garden part of the world. To other such things. So it is only good and right. Have you ever been on land and all of a sudden you started feeling really sad or really angry? So I'm over here doing something and I'm fine. I'm over here doing something and all of a sudden I feel different, like substantially different. Have you ever felt that?
I think a couple of times.
Sometimes the land has such an overwhelming feeling that it bursts through to us being able to pick it up, and then and at that point, what we can do is we can just say to the land, hey, I feel what you're feeling, and I'm not sure anything else, but I am sure that God created you. He loves you. He's got a good plan for you, even if others have abused you and defiled you.
Mm-hmm.
Put your eyes on Father. Just direct the land, not to you, because the land is wanting something from you. So it'll feel better. Direct it to the Lord, because that's where it should go. and move along. You don't have to do a big thing, you know, it's not doing whatever. You're not worshiping the land, but you're helping the land feel better. You're helping the land direct to the right source, you know? So,
So, as you are dealing with your emotions and your interactions with land and wherever you are, be able to hear and interact. It's like that time we went down to Andrew Jackson and we went hiking. And y'all asked if y'all could stay there in the playground, the picnic area. And I said, that's fine. And I walked off. I heard the land. The Lord had something for me that He shared with me that I was able to unearth and share with Uncle Jeff. And then when I got back, I said, hey guys, now that you stayed here on the land, did you hear what the land had to say to you? So it's always a question of things are speaking. The question is, are you listening? I can jump up and down and get tired and worship for 8 hours or whatever the case, or read a book, play a basketball game. But the question is, can I plug into and connect with my context and my frame? Because there's always another slice or hue of color, a slice of a layer deeper down, that can be added if you'll listen to your context to where you are. So, be peace. And I love all of y'all.